Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to All Things Division 3 Soccer with SimpleCoach and Jackie. I am SimpleCoach. And right over there, snoozing away. I'm sure she's saying hello in her way. Jackie is sleeping. That is Jackie. Anyhow, so we've had about 2 weeks of soccer. Some really great stuff, some other not so great stuff, but overall been a joy to watch. But it is time, ladies and gentlemen, time to come up with the top 25 teams in the country from my point of view. So, just so you know, if you've watched in the past, I generally try to see everybody that I rank to one degree or another. Watch a game, watch a half, watch a little bit, just to sort of get a sense. My rankings are personal. I really don't take much into account of the other rankings. I would suggest, if you're interested, go to Massey Ratings. They do, it's like a quantitative ranking based on strength of schedule and all that kind of stuff. And I do know my top 25 on the men's side, because it's not done on the women's side. I contribute my top 25 to a men's pooled top 25 ranking that you can find on the D3 men's soccer board, which is really interesting to, again, sort of comparatively see how my rankings or anyone's rankings compare, and some outliers and all that stuff. So if you're into the rankings thing, I would suggest that you go there. Obviously, United Soccer Coaches has their rankings that are out as well. I think they came out this week. And both they do it regionally as well as obviously the national one. So I think that's more based on coaches voting. And so not sure the science behind it, but I think folks probably look at that a little bit more seriously than, again, what you see from the like Massey Ratings and then obviously anything else. But the best rankings of all are to make the SimpleCoach top 25s, because just because I'm SimpleCoach and Jackie wouldn't have it any other way. So with that, let's start with the ladies' top 25. So I'm not sure how I'm going to display this, but I will display it somehow. I don't know, maybe on that side or this side, that side, you will see it. So I just need to figure that out. But here we go. So coming in at number 25 on the list, there we go. Wisconsin Lacrosse 5-0. They're undefeatable, although I think their schedule hasn't been top notch. But in 2 weeks, I think it is, they travel to Virginia to play Christopher Newport and Virginia Wesleyan. So I think that's going to be the big test. Do they have what it takes to stay in the top 25? Next up, number 24, Loras. They are also undefeatable. Their first top 100 match, though, will be against St. Catherine's on the 20th. So, again, we'll see how they are. Number 23 coming in, Washington and Lee had great wins against Stevens, Puget Sound, and then tied against a really good Franklin and Marshall team. So, 22, Rowan, undefeated, 4-0. They have a big test against Swarthmore today, and I'm recording this on the 13th, so today is Wednesday. So this evening they have a game against Swarthmore. That'll tell a lot. 21, College of New Jersey. They're 3-1. After a loss to Smith College to open the season, they rebounded with 3 straight wins. Again, being Wednesday today, they play Johns Hopkins. So I think there's a lot riding on this one. 20th, Hardin-Simmons, 4-0. They're undefeatable, and their biggest win is against Ohio Northern. Next up, number 19, MIT, 3-0-1. After a tie to Brandis to open the season, they beat Bridgewater, Massachusetts. I didn't know that was a thing. Trinity and Illinois Tech. So they have some good wins under their belt, or on their belts, under their belts, on their belts. 18th team I really enjoy watching, Misericordia. They were 3-1. They had 3 wins with a tough loss against Case Western Reserve. Next up, number 17, Emory with 2 solid wins, and then a loss to Hartford, who you'll see later on. Number 16, NYU at 4-0, undefeatable. And they had their best wins are against Vassar and Stevens. So, yeah. I will say number 15 now, Tufts, 3-1, 2 wins, but a tough loss to Wesleyan. So, yeah, 15th. Number 14, another NESCAC school, Williams at 14. They tied Hamilton, and then they beat Babson. They turned around and beat Babson. NESCAC, we stay 2-0-1 as well. 13th, Middlebury beat Plattsburgh to open the season, and then tied Amherst. Number 12, coming from California, Pomona Pitzer, undefeatable. Top wins against the Banana Slugs of UC Santa Cruz, Trinity, Tejas, and St. Catherine. And then the number 11, who I'm sure, right, and I enjoy watching these ladies play as well. Vassar, 3-1. Like I mentioned earlier, they lost to NYU. But then they had really great wins against Sarah Lawrence, and then the pay-per-view conference champs, University of Scranton. So that's number 11. Okay, and so now the top 10s. Number 10 at 4-0, Christopher Newport. Coach Gunderson has the team undefeatable. That includes wins against Pacific Lutheran and Virginia Wesleyan. So are they on a roll, right? Can they repeat 2 seasons ago their national championship run? Number 9, the blocked me on Twitter University of Paywall, aka the University of Rochester, has 3 solid wins along with a tie to Smith College. Number 8, let's stick with the NESCAC, who are on both the men's and women's side, just amazing soccer programs. Wesleyan, undefeatable with a great win against Tufts. And now they have Vassar up next week. So that'll be interesting. Number 7, Wash U in St. Louis. Shout out to Jordan Spector. 3-0-1. Undefeatable with their best win against Center College. I really think their big test is going to be against Emory on October 1st. So see how that goes. 5-0, Carnegie Mellon at number 6, undefeatable. Get this, they have scored 23 goals and have only conceded 1 so far this season at 5 goals. So that's like a little over 4 goals a game they score. A lot. Okay. And coming in at 5th, another team I really enjoy watching, although they never want to, neither men or women coaches want to be on my podcast, which really upsets me. You can see tears. At number 5, Case Western Reserve, 2-0. They had two really good wins against Ohio Northern and then obviously Misericordia that I mentioned earlier. And then they tied Clarkson. So I'm not putting too much into the Clarkson tie. But okay, number 3, 3-0-1. And I think they're going to go the distance, I think. Again, really enjoyable to watch. Smith College of Hobart and Smith, the Herons. They opened the season with a win at College of New Jersey, and then their only tie is to the number 9 ranked University of Paywall. So I enjoy watching them. I think they're very, very good, and I think they do have a Final Four run in them. Number 2 at 4-0, and they are really enjoyable to watch. And I think they have that thing that where they are able to connect very, very well with each other, and they seem to be all on the same page. Messiah. They are undefeatable. They had strong wins against Puget Sound, Stevens, and Ursinus. And then obviously, what a statement win to go down to Hopkins and beat the national champions, Johns Hopkins University. So, and then lastly, I was not sure if I was going to rank them number 1, but I watched them and they remind me a little bit of sort of the domineering Johns Hopkins of last year. And I was like, oh, maybe they're, I don't know, maybe I'm just not seeing something right. But Hartford University, the new entrance into Division III. So they were Division I last year, and this year they're playing Division III with a 3-0 record, undefeatable. They beat, and I will say in a convincing fashion, they beat Montclair and Emory, both obviously both top 50 teams, right? And they kind of just did their thing. So I'm hesitantly, reluctantly, I thought about just putting them on a 10th because I'm like, oh, the new entrants, whatever. But you look at their schedule and they can play. So that's a top 20, top 25, excuse me. I will, let me know your feedback on the women's top 25. Let's move on to the men. Okay, so let's do the men now. The men's top 25. So coming in at 25 is Wartburg. Had a good win against Milwaukee School of Engineering, MSOE, and tied the top 50 team. I'm sorry, in McAllister. It's a little different for me. But number 24, I'm going with Catholic University. They lost to Messiah and Cortland. Messiah, they got drubbed 4-0, and then Cortland, they lost 2-1. I think they're a really good team. I think they have the formula that works. Don't get me wrong, I still find it the way they play unimaginative, and they're looking to create a lot of chaos in the box. But they're good at it. So, Number 23, I'm going with Montclair State at 4-0. They're undefeatable. They beat Babson and Endicott. I don't know. There's always something about Montclair that I'm not too sure about. So, number 22, Case Western Reserve, undefeatable as well. They had some great wins against, OAC heavy hitters, Otterbein and Capital. They have a pretty daunting schedule, so we'll see if they hold up, if they have the legs this year. In from California, 21, University of the Redlands, undefeatable as well. Their best win was against the Banana Slugs of UC Santa Cruz. And in 1 week, they play Claremont Mud Scripts, which is doing very well from their exile, and then followed by Occidentals. So I think next week will determine a lot for them. Number 21, North Park. I really like these guys, like how they play or try to play. They just lost to Chicago 1-0, but I thought they looked pretty good and really again caused Chicago to look a little shaky. And I think if they can keep getting better, I think they have a good solid run in the NCAAs. Let's see, 19. Number 19, blocked on Twitter by University of Paywall. The men's team at 3-0-1. They can play. They had a great win coming out of the gate against Cortland, and then followed by Alvernia. So, they're at 19. Number 18, Cortland State, who lost to the University of Paywall in the season opener. They're 4-1, and they just beat Catholic, so 2-1. Number 17, Texas Lutheran at 4-0, undefeatable, open season with wins against Occidental and Cal Lutheran. So I think they're pretty good. Just as this team is. Number 16, also undefeatable at 5-0, North Central. Their big test this weekend against Ohio Northern and Castleton. So we'll see where they stand at then. Number 15, number 2, the finalist Williams. They are 3-0. They just beat Hamilton, and I don't know. Maybe there were a lot of changes, roster changes and whatnot, but they just don't look as, I don't know. I just don't look. But maybe that could be me, my personal bias. Number 14 at 4-0, Franklin and Marshall, undefeatable. Also big wins against Stevens and Lebanon Valley, and I actually think they could go 12-0 before they see some real conference challenges. Muhlenberg, Johns Hopkins. Number 13, going with the 1-0-1 Amherst. They tied Middlebury, but this is Amherst, so got to respect that. So, number 12, Trinity, Texas, undefeatable at 4-0. Their next big test, I really think, is going to be October 1st against Texas Lutheran. So, number 11, team I really enjoy watching, Christopher Newport, 3-0. That they beat a really solid Lynchburg. They are traveling to Colorado to play the Banana Slugs of UC Santa Cruz and Colorado College, and that could be very well a defining weekend for them. But as of right now, they're looking really good. At 2-0-1 in 10th place, Connecticut College. They just tied Tufts, but I'll just say I think they look very much like the national championship team did, and not like last year's team, Whether that materializes for them this year in the NESCAC and then in the NCAAs, there's a lot of season to be played. But as of right now, against Tufts, I thought they looked at stages really, really good. Okay. Where am I? There I am. Number 9, Suni Oneonta, undefeatable at 4-0. They have yet to concede a goal. So they're really, really locking it down. Number 8, another NESCAC, undefeatable as well. Bowdoin at 3-0. They play Conn College on Saturday, so big matchup in the NESCAC. And then number 7, another NESCAC, doing what it does, 2-0-1, Tufts. They tied Connecticut, and they play Wesleyan, then Amherst at home. So 2 huge matchups. But then again, if you're in the NESCAC, every matchup is like a huge, huge matchup. So number 6, yeah, I'm gonna give a shout out to the Blue Streaks of John Carroll at 4-0, undefeatable. Look, if you watch them, they are super organized. They defend as a team very, very well, and they attack really well. And they actually have someone who I think could be player of the year. He's that good. Justin, I forget his last name already. It came to my mind. But and they play Case, and then they travel to Ohio Wesleyan. So 2 huge matchups here. At number 5, Chicago national champions. The 2022 national champions at 2-0-1. They tied Gustavus. I don't know. Under normal terms, maybe they would be put at number 1 just by deferring to their bona fides, but I just don't. Something just doesn't look right. I don't see the same fluidity, same conviction as I did last year, but yeah, we'll see. Okay, number 4, down in Tejas again, going with St. Thomas at 4-0, playing very well, taking the W's. So giving them a shout out. Number 3, team I've liked last year. They have some great ball players, but at 5-0, Calvin University. They have wins against Ohio Wesleyan, and Wilmington. So they can score goals against really tough opponents. So number 2, another team that I think is just sort of picked up from where they were and looks really, really good. I thought they looked in the second half in particular against RPI. I thought they looked really, really solid. Really tough. University of Mary Washington at 4-0. And then finally at number 1, you guessed it, again, 4-0. I'm going with Messiah. If last year I've said it often that there was everybody and then there was a different level, and that I thought it was Chicago and Messiah. I'm actually thinking this year that different level is made up of Messiah and maybe Mary Washington. I think I need to see a few more games of Mary Washington. But yeah, I think they're really, really good again. And do I think it's as seemingly easy like as it was last year? Maybe not. But man, when it clicks, forget it. Like they played the other day, they played Rutgers. Camden bunkered in for 3/4 of the game, and then Messiah just lit it up for 4 goals. Just like that. All that hard work that Camden put in on the scoreboard, unrecognizable. So, and we're not talking lucky goals. Some of these, there were bangers from outside the box, well played, set plays. I mean, they have a repertoire of goals that it's really, really, really. I don't know. I think they're the best in the country again. Okay. All right. So that's the top 25 for the women and the men. Again, on the men's side, coming in, I'll just do the fives. Chicago, number 4, St. Thomas, number 3, Calvin, number 2, University of Mary Washington, and number 1, Messiah. And for the women, number 5, Case Western Reserve, number 4, Johns Hopkins, number 3, Smith College of Hobart and Smith, number 2, Messiah, and number 1, D3 newcomer, Hartford. So, hope you enjoyed it. I'll do this again next week. Thank you. Do appreciate all the support and enjoy. Talk soon.